Huh? Is that... Hey!
Hmm?
You're the girl I met in Flora Mill Town. Vale, wasn't it?
Oh, what a coincidence finding you here.
I'm glad to see you again. You left so abruptly last time. It really caught me off guard. Do you live around here?
No, I'm just passing through. Well, looking for someone, really.
Who are you looking for?
A person I must talk to again no matter what. My sibling.
You were separated then. I'm sorry. It's painful to be apart from one's family. Do you have any idea where to look?
None. I don't even know what face to look for. We've been apart since I was very young. But they did give me something long ago. This.
What a pretty stone.
It's my good luck charm. I know that as long as I have this, we'll be reunited someday.
I'm sure you will. But don't forget to take care of yourself. Look, your leg's wounded.
This kind of thing happens all the time.
It looks pretty deep. There. That ought to hold for a while.
Thank you. You're quite kind to help a complete stranger like me.
You're not a stranger. You saved my life, remember? That makes us friends, as far as I'm concerned. And friends help each other.
Friends?
Should I not have said that?
No. I'm just so happy to have someone I can call a friend. It's like a dream. I can't recall the last time I was treated with such kindness.
What do you mean by that?
I'm sorry, but I have to go.
Are you sure?
Thank you for the bandage. Hope to see you again.
There she goes. See you around, Vale.
What's up, adventurers? My name is Platinum Phoenix, and welcome back to Fire Emblem Engage. Last time, we met Yunaka and Emblem Mikaya while fighting off some bandits. And this time, I've lied to you. Last episode, I said we were going to be heading to Brodia. Something else actually opens right now, and I think we need to take care of that before actually heading to Brodia. So it's going to be another episode before we actually make it to Brodia. But with that being said, I want to take care of what we're going to be doing in the Somniel today. So first I want to head down here and head over to what is called Lookout View, because something happens up here now.
Divine One, we discovered this mysterious bracelet in southern Pyrenees. There appear to be more of them enshrined on the islands off the coast. We should investigate.
There's an emblem inside this bracelet, all right. The presence inside is complicated, but I think I have the invocation. Lead us, Emblem of Rivals!
Finally, we're free. I am Emblem Edelgard.
Pleased to meet you. I am Emblem Dimitri.
I guess that makes me Emblem Claude. Hi there.
That must have been a crowded bracelet. Sorry, I should introduce myself. I'm the Divine Dragon. You're obviously not from Helios. May I ask what you're doing here?
Until recently, we were the guardians of another world. It seems we were moved somehow.
I get the feeling you've come to give me some sort of test.
No need for that. You were able to summon us. That is enough. And your timing is excellent. We were just growing weary of each other's conversation.
Speak for yourself. I thought Dimitri's stories were getting better with every telling.
Yes, the sarcastic interruptions kept increasing too. Coincidence, I'm sure.
You three all seem to be really comfortable with each other.
Appearances can be deceiving.
Really, Edelgard?
She's kidding. You can tell because her face looks exactly the same as when she's serious.
We have always been in competition. It will be refreshing to join forces.
I should explain. We were all students at the Officers' Academy, but we led different houses.
That's what you meant by competition.
Yes, we only truly came together for special events, like the Battle of the Eagle and Lion.
A traditional mock battle between the houses, to celebrate one another's strengths.
The real celebration was afterward. Our festivities got rather exuberant that night.
Dimitri looks pretty straight-laced, but don't let him fool you. Between you and me, he's like a force of destruction at a party. I'm surprised they didn't expel his whole house for those shenanigans.
Must have been quite a night.
You only just met him, so you can't tell if he's joking. Just ignore half of everything he says.
Come on, be fair. At least a third of what I say is worth hearing.
You do know a third is less than half, right? Let me say it formally. Our power is at your disposal. Please make the most of it.
Victory will be ours. Have no fear. We are here to help.
And if these two and their conventional tactics fail, maybe I'll show you a few tricks.
That's all very reassuring. Thank you. I'll do my best to help the three of you work together.
Alright, and with that, we get our first example of a DLC emblem. And also, the Divine Paralog's now open, but we will go over those at a later point. But I will also be going over the Emblem 3 houses, is what I call them, because saying Emblem, Edelgard, Dimitri, and Clyde is a mouthful. So I just call them Emblem 3 houses. And I'll go over them later, but the most important thing to remember about them and about all the DLC emblems is actually that they are bracelets instead of emblem rings. And I am actually going to put them onto Alfred because, as I'll go over later, you could basically put them on anyone, but I like them to be on a quicker unit, so being on a cavalry unit is really nice. There's two more things I want to go over while we're here. The first one is that dining is finally open in Cafe Terrace.
Okay.
And if we go over to whoever is at the, serving desk or whatever, we can order a meal. And basically what it does is you can raise your support level with whoever you choose to dine with. So let's just say I choose Alfred and Saline. And then at the bottom, you can see their likes and dislikes, and then the ingredients you need, as well as how much of each ingredient you have. And then you will also see the effects that you will gain from eating the food. So this berry custard tart will give us +1 strength, +1 magic, +1 speed, and +1 defense for the next battle that we do. So that is the one I am going to choose. And we'll just click all of the ingredients. And I have a lot of rare fruit, so we'll put that as the topping.
I'm making this extra special for you, Divine One. Okay, so I add this, then I do that. Now it should... Ah! It worked! It actually worked!
A solid meal to build solid muscles.
A hearty meal, tastefully presented.
And like I said, basically you get a rank for the meal that you have made. If Lythinian also gained resistance 1. Oh, nice. So Phoenix, the Divine Dragon, also gets 1 resistance from this, because out of those 3, he's the only Lythithian. I can't say that word, apparently. But the other 2 are from Pyrenees, so they're Pyrenees or something like that, so they don't get that +1 resistance.
This one?
And we get the leftovers, which we can take into battle, I believe, and eat for HP. But the last thing I actually want to go over is this room right here, the Ring Chamber. And the reason I want to go over the ring chamber right now is because if we go inside, you will see a bunch of these pedestals all around, as well as these stands in the background. And you will see that some of them are lit up while others are dark. So these pedestals represent the 12 emblem rings that we will get throughout the main story. And these pedestals in the back, or these stands in the back, represent all 7 of the DLC bracelets. And as you can see, one is lit up because we have the emblem 3 houses. But if we go to the central pedestal, you could do a lot in this room, actually. You can... I'll start at the bottom. You could basically use materials on the engaged weapons. So all of any of them that you can see. And you can use them and use the might crystals and everything to add basically abilities and stats to the weapons to make them even stronger than they already are. And some of these engaged weapons are already broken as is, so they could become real monsters if you start just putting stuff on them. And now I'll start at the top because some of these are a little complicated, but none of them are super difficult. Inherent skills basically just means that when you have a emblem equipped and you defeat opponents, you get a stat called SP. And with SP, you can permanently gain the abilities of the emblems that you have equipped, which is great. It's just great. And to show it off, I'm just going to inherit this avoid plus 10. And then if I hit ZR, I can inherit that skill. And it just gives Phoenix an extra 10 to his avoid stat. And that is permanently as long as it's equipped. So it's really good to inherit as many skills as you can. So you have as many options as you can to basically mix and match what you want your units to be able to do. And as you can see, some of the inherited skills are a lot more expensive, like this break defenses that lets you do an extra attack at half damage if you break the opponent is a lot more expensive than perception, because doing an extra attack for basically free is a lot better than just being able to avoid a little bit more often. But with that gone over, the next is create bond rings. And basically bond rings are smaller rings that you can get for your emblem rings that give you slight stat boosts. And I'm going to show on Mars. I'll do create 10 just so you can see. And you will see it will create a ring and it'll tell you who it is and what stat it increases. I'm just going to skip to the end so you can see all 10 of them. The only thing is, you need to spend a lot of bond fragments on this to get a lot of stats. And it's really costly if you really want to go through with it. So I really don't want to recommend it because it's not great. You could also meld bond rings, which I can't right now because I don't have enough of any of them. But if you meld bond rings, they will go up in basically level and gain slightly more stats for your character. And the last thing you can do here is polish rings and bracelets. You just pick the ring or bracelet you want to polish, pick the character you want to polish them.
It will take some
and
work.
then you just maneuver over the ring,
very
and you can just mash A basically,
Thank you.
and
The ring
it just
looks
cleans
amazing.
it. And doing that, it actually raises the bond level, or not the bond level, it slightly raises the bond between the unit that is cleaning the ring and the ring emblem itself. So it's really good to do, and I would recommend doing it as much as you can to really easily raise the bond level of your characters and rings. But with that being said, the last thing I want to do is the support. And, oh, there are no bonds. So I guess this one support, and then I will meet you at the start of the next chapter that we're doing.
Good morning, Alfred.
Morning, Celine.
Training hard again, I see. Though normally I don't find you using a shovel. That's a deep hole you've dug, too. Won't this be hazardous for the others?
Oh, Celine, this isn't training. And if anything, I need to dig deeper.
What in the world is the purpose of this?
I overheard the kitchen staff this morning complaining that there wasn't enough water. So I'm digging a well for them.
Pardon? Alfred, if the water supply is low, there's a river nearby we can fetch more from. What possessed you to decide that the solution to the problem was to dig a well?
Hey, you're right. That's using your noggin. I better find a jug and leg it to the river. Thanks for the tip, Celine.
You haven't changed one bit, it seems. Better that you should dress in pelts and furs to warn people of your barbaric mindset.
Alright, now that we're on the world map, you can see a bunch of stuff just opened. Up here is Chapter 7, which is the crossing into Brodia, which we are not doing this time. And if we go past that paralogue, you can see if we go down here, that we land in the Divine Paralogue, which is a DLC area that lets you collect more Emblem bracelets. So we will be coming here very soon, and as you can see, there's a lot of stuff that is kind of weird about this place, like this ice island right next to a volcano in the background, but we're not going to deal with it right now. Instead, I actually want to deal with this paralogue right here, the Bandit Hideout. And let's begin the chapter.
You still haven't found her?
Sorry, boss. The thief was too quick for us. We lost track of where she went.
We're supposed to be the thieves, you bums. We steal. We don't get stolen from. Well, she can't have left this fortress yet. Go catch her. No excuses.
Yes, boss.
Boss! Bad news.
Am I about to hear an excuse?
There's a tough-looking bunch headed right for us. They're armed, too.
Typical. How much worse can today get? Whatever. This won't stop us either. Battle squads in position and ready to move. I want our thieves in the treasury now. Once the treasure is secured, get to a safe place.
Got it, boss.
A whole room full of treasure! I'm sure no one will mind if I help myself. Hey, is someone talking? Sounds panicked, whoever they are.
Move your butts and get in position.
Is there about to be a fight? Oh, I'd better find some place to hide. I guess this is my best option.
Can you believe the luck we're having today?
Less talking, more stalking. Make sure your gear is ready before things kick off.
Uh-oh. This is way too many bandits to make a clean getaway.
The townsfolk told us about a bandit base, and I'd say we found it. I feel sorry for all those poor villagers who had their valuables stolen. Precious keepsakes. Family heirlooms. Let's see if we can put them back in the right hands. Though it looks like we're in for a fight before that can happen.
Alright, and with that, we are about to get into the Mysterious Merchant. Let's make sure we have the right units. I don't like this setup. There's a lot of armor units, so I don't want to bring Etier. I'd rather bring Clan, and I'm going to switch out Chloe for Yunaka. And as you can see, I also took the Emblem Micaiah off of Yunaka because, like I said last episode, she's awful on Yunaka. So I put Micaiah on Jean, or John, instead, because it helps him level up faster and it makes him a lot stronger than he is currently. And like I said earlier, the Emblem 3 houses are on Alfred, and everyone else is the exact same. And I also did a little bit of leveling up the weapons and also the engravements. I put the engravement of the rivals onto the iron dagger that Yunaka has, and I put the emblem of the Dawn, or the engravement of Dawn, onto the initiate art that Jean has, or John has. But with that, let's start this fight. And our only goal is to beat the main thief. Does she even have... No, she doesn't even have...
Yes.
Like... What am I trying to say? She doesn't even have...
Emblem, engage!
An extra health bar, is what I'm trying to say. I couldn't think of the word. So I'm just going to Warp Ragnarok because it gets me much farther into this fight and gets it started off really quick. I know I say it every fight, but I love Warp Ragnarok. It is easily one of my favorite abilities that the emblem gives.
I want to help you.
And it gets Aileen basically directly into the fight without any fanfare at all.
I am ready to serve.
Then I'm gonna have Klein come up here and just start shooting. And my main goal is basically to get my units in this middle section to open these 3 treasure chests, or to defeat anyone that opens these 3 treasure chests before they can escape down here. Because I want to get all of the stuff that's in here before actually going for the boss. I want to continue dealing with this side before I just switch up. I'll put Yunaka there, and then I'll put Jean in the back line just in case. And then this side, we're basically just going to be moving upwards.
For you, anything.
With them, because there's not much else we can do.
Weapon.
But the real
Your steward's ready.
thing I want to talk about in this chapter is actually unit types, or class types, more likely, not unit types, because the class types are really important to know about in order to know how to best deal with them. So certain classes have stats that are a lot higher than other classes, and makes them particularly more difficult to deal with. For example, the Thief class, they always have really high speed, which allows them to almost always attack twice, without fail. So it's good to be able to recognize when you're fighting someone like a Thief class, and be able to basically fight around the ability of them having 2 attacks. Another class is the armored classes, like the armored axe, lance, and sword classes. All of them, their main things are that they are very defensive and can take physical hits very well. So the way to deal with them is to deal magic damage instead of physical damage, in order to avoid having to hit them several times in a row. The other thing about the armored classes is that they cannot be broken.
I thank you.
So any skills that require you to break your opponents, they cannot be activated on armored opponents. And any abilities that are any weapon triangle stuff that you try to do to deal more damage by breaking the opponents, you cannot do against the armored opponents. What else? The archers usually have higher dexterity, which gives them higher avoidance and dodge chances to make them a little bit harder to deal with as a whole. And it basically just makes it harder for you to even land hits and harder for you to land critical hits if you are trying to land criticals against them. We'll send you up here to heal, because I want you to heal. There healers, healing classes. They usually don't have any ways of really combating. This is unfortunate. I guess I'm just... No, I don't want to do that. Let's... Can I echo? What does echo do? Oh, I went to items. I'm like, well, that does nothing. I don't think this is going to be enough. Let's try it anyway. Okay, and then we echo again. And unfortunately, it leaves him with 1 health. That's upsetting. But back to the healers. The healers, they don't really have many ways of fighting. They more rely on being able to take magical hits very well because they have really high resistance rates, and being able to kind of heal up whatever damage you do to them and units around them. And they're usually surrounded by a lot of heavy hitting units, such as the boss of each chapter usually has 1 or 2 healers around them just to deal more damage than otherwise. Can I deal with you without dying? I cannot. I think I spend this turn just healing. And we'll send these guys in faster to try to deal with that a little bit more. And I'll put you right here and use, not echo, we'll use a Vulnerary to try to heal up a little bit. And the thieves, of course, are now stealing everything. The Strength Tonic I don't really care about. That Master Seal, however, is one of the most important items in this game, and I will be getting it. I will say right now, it will become mine, and there's nothing that thief can do to stop me. I'm going to throw this axe so that I'm able to actually show something else. Because these armored units are actually weak to one more thing. And that one thing is Edelgard's weapon. Even though I have Dimitri right now. But Edelgard's are the 3 houses weapon that you get right at the start is Ymir. Or Amir, depending on how you want to say it. And it is a smash weapon. And by that, I mean... when you attack, it always goes second, but when it hits, it smashes the opponent, which means that it will push the opponent back by 1 space, meaning that they can't do anything, and it acts kind of like a break to where the opponents aren't able to actually counterattack after they're smashed. So your other units are able to come up and fight them pretty much free without really caring about if they're strong or not. I'm going to put Yunaka there, and then these 2 are basically just going to follow behind. Unfortunately, they're both kind of slow, so they're not going to catch up or anything. And you are just going to fireball. Luckily, we're early enough in the game to where these thieves are not super fast, so I don't have to worry about them double attacking.
Did that treasure chest just move? So that's where the thief went.
Stop! I've been found out!
It won't open. Hey, thief. Let go of the lid. Don't make me work up a sweat.
Dang! Found me. Only one thing to do now if I want to get out of this. Time to show my skills.
There was a child in there? We have to hurry and rescue her from these bandits.
There's the thief. Get her!
If you think you're gonna catch me that easily, think again!
So, Anna is, or Anne, depending on how you want to say her name. I've heard it said both ways, and either way is technically correct. But she's actually a really strong unit, and is really good at just... I hate the magic users. Or the healers, more specifically. But she's really good at living, and she has a lot more defense than you would think she would have, being, like the Divine Dragon said, a child. But we are just going to run down here, and I don't want to talk. I'll talk to you next time. We need to get this back first. Liberation it is. I was really hoping for that 11% crit. You will just head this way, because I want you to deal with the stuff up above. And, well, I guess there's no time like the present to engage.
Let's do this.
Give me a little bit of extra running speed to... Why does this not do anything? You're supposed to be stronger than this, Graham. I talked a big game about you. And we get momentum. Grants +1 attack to first attack during combat for each space moved before attacking. That's amazing, is what that is, actually. And then you are just going to run down here and wait there. And I want to take out this armored unit, because they are the biggest obstacle of these three. Technically, the healer is the biggest obstacle of the three, but I'm less concerned about the healer overall. And these two will just make their way up this way. And no, I do not want to engage. We do not need to engage quite yet. I'm actually going to send you to deal with these two. With the buff you get from momentum, this should be more than enough to deal with them. The other thing that thieves actually have going for them is they have really high movement, causing them to be able to basically just run very fast. Once they steal things, they can get away very quickly if you're not able to stop them while they're stealing stuff. So it's another thing to keep in mind if there's a lot of thieves on the field. But we were able to take that thief out very quickly, and I'm just going to run over here with Vander. Apparently cannot talk, and use Vander to at least block that entrance, and we'll talk to Anne.
What's the little girl doing here? This is a bandit fort. It's no place for children.
But you're not a bandit, right? So why don't you keep me safe?
Well, I mean, I could, but...
It's a deal. Thanks a million. You might not think so, but I'm pretty handy in a fight. Let me help you help me.
Okay. So, we have now got Anna to join our team, or Anne, again, however you want to say it, has joined the team. And I'm just going to say, I recognize her voice. I'm not entirely sure from where, but I definitely recognize it. I cannot use any of those, so I'll just wait here. And we will move these ones in as well to try to deal with the boss next turn. And I'll actually engage right now.
Engage!
just to do, not great sacrifice, but we'll mend.
Big help.
Just so we have a little bit more health. And now it's the enemy's turn, where they're going to do nothing because they don't move for some reason. We'll leave Vander here to deal with this one.
This is the mission of the stewards.
Yeah, just free is what that is. And then we will use Sigurd to move very fast. And I'm thinking that we should be able just to take her out right now. But first, let's great sacrifice.
I have to fight.
You can see how much experience that you get just from using great sacrifice one time. You get a ton of experience. And he gained a lot of stuff from that. Well, yeah, we'll attack like this. You do have 2 life bars. That changes everything. That means I want to deal with the side ones first, but it also means I want to do this. We'll move you up here to try to get to here. And I think I'm just going to move you to the side to try to have those guys come after you. And we'll do the same over here. So Great Sacrifice is actually like an all or nothing move because it does put your unit down to 1 HP. So I recommend keeping them as far away from the fight as possible when using it. But also, I don't think there's a huge risk.
It's not
because
getting any better.
It's not getting any better. Because you could always just use a Vulnerary afterwards, even though I say that and he doesn't have any Vulneraries. But we are just going to deal with the boss next round. And I'm not really even concerned about it because I don't think the boss is going to be able to deal with like 6 different people. We'll use Yunaka to deal with this one.
Winning.
Thank you.
I can
And
keep
then we'll move you up to here, and you'll use a Vulnerary. All right. In the case that we don't win this round, we'll put her on there so that she can heal, or not heal, so she can use that Warp Ragnarok again to deal with anything that we need her to afterward. But
The Divine Dragon looked
I
right
don't
at me.
see this being very difficult. We'll use...
Damn you for playing us for fools. You'll never get your hands on that treasure.
You'll never get your hands on that treasure. We'll use Clan, and then Yunaka, and then we'll engage, and that's not enough. Do I test the 15% crit chance? I think I tested. Can you crit? Oh, you didn't attack twice. That's unfortunate.
Sounds perfect.
Yeah, I think we just engaged.
My muscles are yours.
I was really hoping that Clan and Yunaka put together could deal with her, but I guess they can't. So that's a lot of damage. I don't want to go second, so we'll do this.
That's Firenze
That
for
at
you.
least takes her 1 health bar down and gives Alfred another level to try to live this. That's a lot of stats. And the bond immediately up with Edelgard and them. And I think I'm just going to end the turn and hope. The boss is poisoned. Can only attack once, so I don't think they have much of a chance. And just because I can, I'm going to use House Unite, which is one of my favorite emblem attacks. And I'm actually going to take my model off so I can show this.
Don't hold this against me.
They basically use every single legendary weapon of the three houses and deal massive attack, or deal massive damage to the opponent, as well as since it's using 3 different classes of weapons, it can break like almost any opponent. The spear breaks sword users, the axe breaks spear users, the bow breaks anything that's flying, and does just massive damage to anything anyway. It's an amazing emblem attack and works very well. But with that, that is the stage cleared.
Here's hoping the local authorities will keep these bandits from causing any more trouble.
You guys are really strong, huh? Do you have room on your team for me?
You want to join us? I should warn you, our battles will be much more grueling than that. You'd be placing yourself in danger.
I know I'm small, but I pack a punch. I can take care of myself, guaranteed. Besides, I've got nothing better to do. Not until I figure out where my family went.
You lost your family.
It gets lonely on the road. Maybe if I travel with you folks, our paths will cross someday.
Well, if that's what you want, I have no objections. I'm the Divine Dragon. Looking forward to working with you.
Hang on, what? You're the Divine Dragon? My sails, they're gonna go through the roof! Oh, and the name's Anna, but you can call me Lady Anna. Pleasure to be in business with you.
Alright, so a couple things. I find it very funny that Anna is the only character in this entire game that's like, oh, I'm not actually royalty, but you can call me Lady Anna. Also, Anna is a unique character, as she is in, I believe, every single Fire Emblem game. At least a majority of them. She's not always the same Anna, but there's always a character named Anna that has red hair in Fire Emblem, and it's just really cool that they have a reoccurring character that's kind of like, I guess, reincarnations across worlds. But the main thing we need to go over is actually the Emblem 3 houses. So, I'm going to call them by their actual names for this because it's a little bit confusing if I just call them Emblem 3 houses. So, Emblem Edelgard, Dimitri, and Claude. They are very good emblems. And by very good, I mean they are some of the best emblems in the game. They work on almost anyone, although I recommend highly to put them on a physical user. So anyone that uses non-magic weapons is what I would recommend putting them on, because they raise strength, dexterity, and defense, making people harder to hit. When they are hit, they take hits better, and with the +2 strength, they just hit a lot harder. The other things are that the Emblem 3 houses get all 3 of the 3 houses legendary weapons as they level up through their bond levels. So it gives the users like the ultimate amount of variety in weapons that they can use, so they basically can never be caught off guard against an enemy with the wrong weapon. The other things are, like I said, Ayar, the axe, is the first smash weapon that we've seen in the game, which is really nice to have against all the armored enemies we've seen. And they have the special ability to use the combat arts, which are skills that they can use while equipped that uses your equip gauge. So it shortens the amount of turns that you are going to be equipped from 3 down to however many you have, or however many it costs to use the art. But in exchange, you get to do very powerful attacks. You get 3 of them, and all 3 of them are very strong and basically are very worth having in a fight. But other than that, there's not much else to go over. They're very strong. I recommend putting them on somebody with a lot of movement already so that they can get into place and fight whoever you need them to fight. And other than that, I think they're just really good emblems. But with that being said, I think we're going to end this episode here. So, I hope that everyone enjoyed watching. If you did, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Next time, we're actually heading to Barodia, or at least the border crossing. But until then, happy adventuring.